Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm RC Maxfield here for Awesemo Fantasy Football. It is week 9, and listen, you're trying to get your rosters a little bit more depth, and this is the week to do it right here, as there's no real star on the waiver wire this week, but there are some potentially solid depth pieces. But before we get into my top 5 waiver wire targets for week 9, we have to talk about the elephant in the room. And no, I am not talking about the size of the man. I am just talking about Derrick Henry and his injury news. He will miss 8 weeks as being reported due to a Jones fracture in his right foot on his 5th metatarsal. And listen, there is no replacing a guy like Derrick Henry, but we're sure going to try to do it. And if you're in a deep PPR league, maybe you target a guy like Jeremy McNichols already on the Titans roster. But right now, I fully expect the Titans to make a move before the NFL trade deadline on Tuesday. And if you haven't already, you know where to get that information when the move happens. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notifications right here on Awesemo so you can stay in the know on this Titans backfield. All right, let's jump into my top 5 waiver wire targets for week number 9. Number 5 waiver wire pickup this week for NFL week number 9, DeVante Parker of the Miami Dolphins. In 5 games played this season, DeVante Parker has averaged 8.69 targets per game. Sure, I get it. It's a Dolphins offense that isn't great, but opportunity is the name of the game in fantasy football, and DeVante Parker is getting plenty of it. When healthy, and it's a big if when it comes to his health, Parker is Tua Tagovailoa's favorite target on the outside. The game script for the Dolphins this season has been a pass-happy one due to them being behind in virtually every game. Look for this trend in targets to continue as Parker holds a 23% target share in the games he has played. He is a nice bench wide receiver with upside and the right matchup. And the best part about him, he's only owned in 34% of Yahoo leagues. Now, this next guy I want to talk about, number 4 on the list, is Cole Beasley. 13 targets. I have to go double check my notes on this one. That is right, 13 targets in week number 8, and Cole Beasley is owned in only 60% of Yahoo leagues. If you're in that 40%, go pick him up. Cole Beasley had a monster game against a less than stellar Dolphins secondary, but 13 targets, right? We're talking about holy goodness. I mean, my goodness, 13 targets. That is the opportunity you want from a wide receiver. Give me all of that. And no other Bills wide receiver had more than 7 in this game. Beasley was a PPR value last season, if you remember, but with the signing of Emmanuel Sanders this past offseason, Beasley is taking kind of a back seat, but not anymore. This is now back-to-back good games for the veteran wide receiver. He now has 22 targets in his last 2 games with just under 200 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. As I mentioned, Beasley is available in 40% of the Yahoo leagues and has 2 great matchups coming up as he is set to face off against the Jags and the Jets. Now we're going to switch a little bit into those deeper leagues here, and we're going to switch to the running back group as Ty Johnson of the New York Jets is only 5% rostered, but he had a pretty good game in week number 8 as the New York Jets upset the Cincinnati Bengals, and everyone needs an extra running back in fantasy football. It's just the nature of the beast, right? Ty Johnson might not be the guy that is a weekly starter, but there is upside in the Jets offense that has proven they will consistently target their running backs in the passing game. In week 8, in their upset win over the Bengals, the Jets running backs were targeted a whopping 20 times. Also, a quick side note, check to see if Michael Carter is available in your league. He's only rostered in 67% of Yahoo leagues. That needs to be 100% by next week. Okay, back to Johnson here real quick. He isn't the most flashy running back, but when you have a guy in Mike LaFleur who has been very adamant about trying to run the football for the Jets, you know the running backs are going to get work. Put Johnson on your bench and see if anything materializes in week 9. And maybe you have a running back by committee type guy inside Johnson with Michael Carter, but there is some upside there with the Jets running back. Now on to my number 2 pick of the week on the waiver wire. It's a familiar face and a familiar name, and now back in a familiar home. Mark Ingram is rostered in 37% of Yahoo leagues, and I think that should be closer to 65-70% as Boom and Zoom are back in New Orleans after the Saints acquired Ingram from the Texans in exchange for a late-round pick ahead of their Week 8 matchup against the Buccaneers, where they got a win but may have lost Jameis Winston for a while. And before the injury to Jameis Winston, Mark Ingram was heavily involved early and often in the Saints offense. With Winston at the quarterback spot, Ingram had 3 carries for 17 yards, 2 catches for 25 yards. Considering this is his first week back in the system, you have to like Ingram's chances of taking a bit more of the work moving forward and having a little bit more opportunities. Ingram falls into that nice bench running back territory that you could possibly use in the right matchup. And if you have a running back on bye, be sure to go get Mark Ingram in an offense that he knows very well. And if any indication of this game is to go move forward in terms of his usage, he's going to be used early and often. But before we get to my number 1 waiver ad for week 9, we have partnered with Yahoo Fantasy this NFL season to bring you some great offers. Check out our exclusive limited time offer. Gets you 1 free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. To qualify, you need to be new to Yahoo, sign up for an account via the link below, deposit and play. That's it. Let me repeat that real quick. To qualify, you need to be new to Yahoo, sign up for an account via the link below, deposit and play. That's it. Yahoo will send us your name, and after you play in your first paid contest, and we will reach out via email with your coupon. If you need immediate access, email support@awesemo.com and we'll get you set up. You can also claim a free $10 below, which can be used to enter any Yahoo contest, including Sunday's $1 million baller. Make sure to use our DFS tools and projections designed specifically for Yahoo to give yourself the best shot at winning big. And now let's get to winning big on the waiver wire with the number 1 target for me in week 9, a guy that is only rostered in 19% of Yahoo leagues. Oh, we're going back to the well with this one. Boston Scott, Nick Sirianni, you son of a... It's a family show. I'll keep it at that. There is nothing more frustrating in fantasy football when you get a clear plug-and-play running back from the waiver wire, i.e. Kenneth Gainwell, his teammate, and they just disappear the week everyone starts them. Well, I'm ready to be hurt again, I guess, because I'm targeting Boston Scott as the primary target on the waiver wire for week 9. Boston Scott led the Eagles' backfield during their dominant win over the Lions in week 8. Scott had 12 carries for 60 yards and 2 touchdowns. The latter part of that stat line, is by far the most important. Both of his touchdowns came within 3 yards or closer, and that's something that Scott has really not done much in the past. In a regular game script, I think Scott could be in line for more touches with Miles Sanders now on IR. Now, could this very well be a 3 running back backfield with Gainwell, Howard, who also had 2 touchdowns, and Scott? Yes, but Scott has proven to be a viable option when he gets touches. Scott also has a great matchup in week number 9 against the Chargers run defense that ranked 31st going into week number 8. Those are my top 5 waiver wire targets for week number 9. Let me know down in the comments below if I missed anybody. Love interacting with all of y'all. But again, not the greatest week on the waiver wire, but sometimes there's diamonds in the rough, and it feels like this could potentially be a week for that. I'm RC Maxfield reminding you to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn those noties on for right here on